You wake up standing in the ruins of ancient Babylon, dust swirling around you, workers buzzing everywhere. What do you even do? It's just another day of restoration work in Baghdad. Sunlight cuts through the haze. Everything quiet. Normal then. Thud, one of the workers swings his shovel, hits something solid. He freezes, kneels down. There, buried beneath the foundation of the legendary Hanging Gardens, is a strange brick. Smooth, dark, almost glowing. They pull it out carefully, and then it starts bleeding silver liquid. Not water, not oil. This stuff rises into the air, like it's alive, twisting into glowing symbols that hang in the night sky. The workers crowd around, stunned. One of them whispers, "That's the 72 names of Sin, the moon god. Ancient, sacred, impossible." Word spreads fast. Archaeologists, historians, mystics, they all come running. They scan it, test it, argue over it. But one thing becomes clear. This isn't just a relic. It's part of a hidden alchemical Stargate array, buried for millennia. And that silver fluid, that's the key to turning it on. As night falls, the liquid gets more active. It swirls in the air, forming shifting constellations, like a living star map. Everyone watches, breathless. This isn't just a discovery. It feels like a summons. The air hums. Time feels thin, like past and present are bleeding together. You can feel it. Something ancient is waking up. And then the moonlight changes. At first, people think it's just a bright night. But no, the whole city is glowing now. Not from streetlights, from the moon. Somehow brighter, sharper, like it's been amplified. That silver light seeps into homes, wraps around buildings, pulses with a quiet energy. And then, the babies start dreaming. All across Baghdad, infants, hundreds of them, have the same dream. A floating garden, lush, impossible. Flowers blooming in midair, rivers flowing upward, strange winged creatures gliding through golden mist. They wake up crying, babbling about the sky garden, eyes wide, like they've seen another world. Parents are terrified, confused. But the dreams, too similar, too vivid. It's not random, it's transmission. That brick wasn't just a switch. It was a beacon. And now, the Stargate is humming. The alchemical array is lighting up. The silver symbols still dance in the air, rewriting themselves every few minutes. Scientists can't explain it. Theories go viral online. Lost tech, ancient AI, a divine message. But deep down, everyone feels the same thing. This isn't the past being uncovered. It's the future calling. And that garden in the sky, it's not a memory. It's a preview. The researchers are totally baffled. They form a task force overnight, scrambling to make sense of it all. First, they interview every parent whose baby had the dream. Same floating garden, same glowing rivers, same winged creatures. The details are too consistent to be coincidence. Then, they dive back into studying the brick. Under the microscope, the silver liquid isn't just fluid. It's made of tiny, pulsing star-like particles, shifting in patterns that look like encrypted data. It's not leaking, it's transmitting. So they decide to test it. On a clear night, they bring the brick back to the excavation site and place it exactly where it was found. The second it touches the soil, the air changes, heavy, charged, like a storm's coming, but the sky's clear. Then, the silver liquid seeps out again, rising into the air and forming ancient constellations. Orion, Pleiades, the Sumerian boat of heaven, each symbol glowing like a neon sign in the dark. Everyone freezes. This isn't just light, it's a signal. And then, the scent hits them. Osmanthus, sweet, floral, nostalgic. No one planted it here. It just appears. And with it, a melody. Soft at first, then clearer, a song, but not one anyone's ever heard. Catchy beat, futuristic synth, lyrics in a language that sounds like a mix of Arabic and something older. It's like a 2025 pop hit that hasn't been released yet. They look at each other, stunned. This isn't just a portal to the past, it's bleeding into the future. That's when they realize The alchemical stargate isn't just a relic, it's alive, and it's responding. They start digging into ancient Sumerian chants, cross-referencing the symbols. One researcher remembers a ritual, the voice that opens the sky. They gather around the brick, chant in low rhythmic tones, matching the vibrations of the silver flow. And then, crack! A hairline fissure splits open across the brick's surface, not physically, visually, like a glitch in reality. From it, that osmanthus scent floods out, thick and warm, carrying the unmistakable aroma of 6th century BCE Babylon. Incense, baked clay, desert wind. But the real shock, the music, now clear, full stereo, like a radio tuned from another time. It's that same futuristic pop song, the one that doesn't exist yet. People stumble back, some laugh nervously, others drop to their knees. This isn't archaeology, this is time itself unraveling. The team's minds race. Is the gate a bridge, a receiver? Are the dreams, the scents, the songs, all broadcasts from different eras? And if so, who's sending them? Then the crack widens, a soft pull begins. From inside the rift, gentle, but undeniable, like the universe just exhaled and said, "Come here." They look at each other, no words, just knowing, this is it. The moment everything changes, they don't hesitate, because some doors aren't meant to stay closed, and some songs, they're already playing, before we've even written them. In that moment, one young researcher steps forward. No hesitation, he walks straight into the crack, like he's being pulled by something deeper than gravity. The others don't even think. They follow one by one, they cross through, and suddenly, they're elsewhere. The world on the other side unfolds in slow motion. Below them, a living, breathing Babylon, bustling streets, merchants shouting in Akkadian, incense, grilled lamb, the clink of copper coins. Palaces rise with golden domes, ziggurats piercing the sky. But above it all, flying cars, sleek, silent drones, zip between ancient towers. Holographic ads flicker in Arabic and cuneiform. A vending machine on the corner sells 2025 limited edition cola. They're not just in the past, they're in a blend. Ancient meets future, woven together like time never broke. They realize it now. They're standing at the nexus. The Stargate isn't just a door, it's a crossroads, where history, present, and future bleed into one. And they're not just observers, they're part of it. That night, under a moon so bright, it turns the city silver. The team steps through the rift again, this time, ready. The air is thick with osmanthus, the future melody still humming in the background, like a radio from tomorrow. 1 second they're in the ruins of Baghdad, the next gone. They land in the heart of ancient Babylon. Market stalls overflow with spices, dates, and lapis. The heat shimmers off stone roads. But then, a self-driving electric cart glides past, neon lights pulsing along its frame. A kid sips a glowing blue drink from a can labeled Quantum Cola Fey, coming 2025. They wander, stunned, into a grand library carved from white marble. Inside, on a tablet of polished obsidian, they find the truth. The Stargate was built by Babylonian priests, scientists who understood time not as a line, but as a loop. They designed it to transmit knowledge across centuries, to teach, to warn, to guide. The silver liquid, a living code, the dreams, messages, the moon's glow, a signal booster, powered by collective human consciousness, and the floating garden in the baby's dreams. Not a myth, it's real, a prototype, built in the future, transmitted to the past, now being remembered before it's built. Then, they meet her, a scientist in a sleek, minimalist suit, speaking fluent Akkadian and English. She says she's from 2042. She tells them the Stargate is awakening, not just as a portal, but as a catalyst. Its energy is syncing with Earth's resonance, accelerating human evolution, and soon it will open fully, not just to one timeline, but to all of them. One choice, one moment, one chance to unite past wisdom, present science, and future vision into something entirely new. The team knows what's at stake. This isn't just about discovery, it's about destiny. So they dive into dreams that haven't happened yet. Because the key isn't just finding the future, it's remembering it. And somewhere in the space between then and now, the Stargate hums, waiting for the next step. You wake up in a world drained of color. Ash, gray skies, dying embers, cold so deep it bites your bones. Fire's gone, hope's fading, and you're standing in the ruins of a blacksmith's forge, where once hot flames now barely flicker under cold iron. This is Arian's world. He grew up here in his mother's forge, raised by his father Hysius, a crippled fire god, limping but unbroken, hands scarred from centuries of shaping divine steel. Arian remembers the glow on his father's face, the rhythm of hammer on anvil, the way fire danced like a living thing. But now the flames are weak. The gods have gone silent. Even the most devoted prayers meet only cold air. One night, Hysius calls him close. His eyes, old, tired, but burning with purpose, lock onto his son's. "Son," he whispers, voice like embers cracking, "the world is forgetting light. The only hope is to steal the eternal flame from Olympus." Arian's heart pounds. It's suicide, a mortal stealing fire from the gods. But he sees the truth in his father's gaze. There's no other way. So under a starless sky, he leaves. No fanfare, no blessing, just a pack, a dagger, and a soul on fire. The journey breaks him. Villages reduced to skeletons of stone. People huddled in the dark, eyes hollow, hands numb. He wants to cry, but he walks and walks. Finally, he reaches the entrance to the underworld. And there, Cerberus, 3 heads, eyes like dying coals, breath that freezes stone. One wrong step, and he's gone. But Arian remembers his father's words. True strength isn't in force, it's in wit, in will. He moves like shadow, uses the mist, the echoes, the beast's blind spots, slips past, heart in throat, into the depths. But the gods aren't done. Hermes appears, silver, tongued, smirking, draped in twilight. "Turn back," he says, offering gold that glows like sin. Power, beauty, immortality. Arian doesn't flinch. "I didn't come for gifts," he says. "I came for fire." Hermes tries curses, illusions, a maze of mirrors that show Arian as king, as monster, as nothing. But Arian walks through them all, eyes fixed ahead, and when the god realizes this mortal won't break, he vanishes with a laugh that echoes like wind through ruins, onward through frozen rivers, over cliffs that touch the stars, past statues of those who tried and failed, frozen in eternal scream, and finally, Olympus, gates of lightning, walls of thunder. The eternal flame burns atop the highest peak, a fire that never dies, never flickers. Arian climbs, bleeding, broken, breathing frost. He reaches the summit. The flame roars, pure, blinding, alive. It watches him. He hesitates. Stealing fire means war with the gods, means exile, means death. But then he thinks of his father, of the cold, of the children shivering in the dark. He reaches out and takes it. The sky splits, thunder cracks, Zeus's voice booms. "Mortal, you dare." But Arian doesn't run. He turns, flame in hand, and shouts into the storm, "I don't dare, I do." And as he leaps from the mountain, fire blazing in his palm, the world below begins to remember warmth, because light isn't given, it's taken, and the age of darkness, it just met its end. Arian stands at the base of Mount Olympus, heart pounding like a war drum. Above him, the god's palace glows, golden, untouchable, humming with divine power. He knows what's waiting up there, not just fire, not just glory, judgment, but he's come too far to turn back. The path begins to rise, steep and slick, with frost. Morning light cuts through the clouds, gilding the stones like a trail of promise. Every step echoes with the memory of his mother's hammer, his father's quiet strength. He walks not just for them. He walks for every soul shivering in the dark. Then cold, a forest looms ahead. Twisted trees, no birds, no wind, just silence. And from the shadows, Cerberus, 3 heads, burning eyes, jaws wide enough to swallow a man whole. The beast snarls, each head roaring in a different tongue. Fear, rage, despair. Most would run. Arian watches. He sees the rhythm, the way one head dozes, then another, the third yawns. They're not endless. They're alive, and living things get tired. So he waits, still as stone. And when all 3 heads droop, half asleep, he moves, silent, swift, like smoke past the gate. But the gods aren't done. A flash, a laugh. Hermes descends, golden cloak, winged sandals, serpent staff in hand, smiling, mocking. Why suffer, little mortal? He purrs, stay, rule. Be a king, be a god, just turn back. Gold rains from his fingers, visions bloom, palaces, lovers, endless power. Arian blinks, the visions fade. I didn't come for power, he says. I came for light. Hermes frowns, then smirks. Then suffer, he strikes. The staff flashes, darkness crashes down. Curse after curse. You will be forgotten. You will walk alone. You will fail. But Arian doesn't fall, because the curses can't stick. His mission isn't pride, not glory. It's love for his father, for the world. And love, it's older than gods. He shatters the darkness with a roar, rising like a phoenix from ash. Hermes stares, for the first time, afraid. You're not just a thief, he whispers. You're a spark. And then he vanishes, not in anger, in respect. Sunday high. Now warmth on Arian's face, his body broken, his breath ragged, but his will unbreakable. He climbs, higher, faster, until at last, the summit, the eternal flame burns in a sacred bowl, roaring with colors no mortal eye has seen. It sings, it lives, and beside it, Zeus himself, thunder in his gaze. Mortal, he thunders, you dare steal fire from the gods. Arian doesn't kneel, doesn't beg. I don't dare, he says, voice steady. I must, silence. Then, Arian reaches. The flame leaps into his hand. Not burned, accepted. The sky splits, lightning wind, the mountain trembles. But Arian turns, fire blazing in his palm, and leaps, not in fear, in flight. Because fire was never meant to stay in heaven, it was meant to fall, to burn, to awaken. And as he descends, the flame spreading through his veins, the world below begins to glow. Villages stir, fires reignite, children laugh. The age of darkness, it just ended. And Arian, he's not a hero, he's the first spark of a new dawn. The path ahead is jagged, treacherous, each step a gamble with fate. But Arian doesn't hesitate. He knows these trials aren't just obstacles. They're tests of will, of worth, First, a massive stone gate blocks his way, covered in ancient runes that pulse like a warning heartbeat. Turn back, they seem to whisper. Only gods may pass. Arian studies them, not with fear, with focus. He notices a loose stone, almost hidden, shaped like a flame. He presses it. A deep rumble. The gate splits open, revealing a steep staircase, winding into the clouds. He climbs. At the top, an open plaza, vast and silent. In its center, a towering statue, Apollo, god of light, eternal guardian of the flame, golden bow in hand, eyes blazing with divine fire. Arian grips his blade. He knows what comes next. Then the statue moves. Apollo descends, not in rage, but in sorrow. You would steal from the heavens, he asks. Do you know what fire costs? Arian stands tall. I know what darkness costs, he says, and I'll pay any price to end it. The battle begins, lightning fast arrows, blinding flashes. Apollo moves like the sun itself, relentless, radiant. Arian dodges, rolls, uses the terrain, the shadows, his father's old tricks. He doesn't fight to kill, he fights to reach the flame. Then an opening. Arian feints left, spins, and with a blade forged in his mother's forge, a blade inscribed with, "For the Forgotten," he strikes not to kill, but to disarm. The sword knocks Apollo's bow from his hand. The god stumbles, not from injury, from shock. No mortal has ever bested him. Not like this. Arian doesn't press the attack. I don't want war, he says. I want light. Apollo stares. Then, nods, the flame roars in its pedestal. Not guarded now, offered. Arian steps forward with trembling hands. He draws the iron flask his mother forged, the one lined with cold star, metal designed to hold divine fire. He seals the flame inside. The moment it's closed, warmth floods his body, hope. Power, but before he can move, a presence. Moirai appears, the Fate sister, cloaked in shadow, voice like wind through ancient trees. Brave Arian, she says, you have done what no mortal could, but know this, you will die by fire. Cold silence. The words hit like a blade, but Arian doesn't flinch. Then let it be, he says, and with that, he turns. Night falls, he descends, the flame glowing softly in his pack, a heartbeat against his back. The path home is darker, longer, colder, but he walks without fear, because fire was never meant to stay in heaven. It was meant to burn, to spread, to save. And if his end comes in flame, then let it be a spark that starts 1,000 fires. Let it be the kindling of a new age, because some heroes don't live forever. They just burn long enough to light the way. First, she gathers the city's wisest elders, old minds sharp as blades. They trace enemy patterns on parchment, predict possible attack routes. One says East Gate, another says the river pass. A third whispers, they'll come at dawn, always do. Then she moves. No time for ceremony, no waiting for her father's return. She rallies everyone, soldiers still in armor, farmers with pitchforks, blacksmiths gripping hammers, even children carrying water and torches. She walks the walls herself, boots on cold stone, voice steady. Eyes open, heart strong. We hold this line. The night drags, wind bites, no one sleeps. Then, hooves. Faint at first, then louder, riding in from the dark. Her pulse spikes, but she doesn't flinch, stands tall on the battlements, a flame in a storm. At dawn, the enemy appears, shields raised, spears gleaming. But they don't charge. Instead, one figure steps forward, armor ornate, helmet lifted, and there, Kale, her childhood friend, the boy who taught her to throw a knife, the one who vanished after the border skirmish, presumed dead. Now here, leading an army against her home, they stare across the battlefield, 20 years of friendship crashing into war. "You're alive," she whispers, "and you're standing where a king should," he says. Not anger, not mockery, grief. She learns the truth. He was captured, brainwashed, told her father ordered the massacre of his village. He fought to survive, to rise, to avenge. But now, facing her, seeing the city not as a target, but as home, he hesitates. So she does the unthinkable. She climbs down, walks across the open field alone. He does the same. They meet in the middle. No weapons drawn, just two souls torn by lies. "We were used," she says. Tense, rise, a ceasefire, then talks. Hard, raw, painful, but real. By sunset, a truce is signed. Not because of armies, not because of blood, because one girl walked into the fire, because one soldier remembered his past, because peace was louder than war. And when the enemy banners lower and the gates open, it's not surrender, it's return. Years later, they'll tell the story, how a king's daughter stood alone on the wall, how she faced an army not with a sword, but with truth, and how, in one fragile dawn, she turned enemies into allies, not by force, by remembering who they used to be. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk forward with your heart in your hands.
You wake up in the middle of a Spartan battlefield. Dust, blood, bronze clashing against bronze. Screams echo, men fall, and in the chaos, one figure cuts through like fire. Leonthi, born under a blood moon, feared by enemies. A warrior so cold, they say her shadow kills. Her axe splits shields. Her sword finds hearts. No battle lost. No mercy given. But when the moon is full, she vanishes. Leaves the war camp. Walks through dark pines. Finds a hidden lake. Still as glass, glowing silver under the night. And there, waiting, silent, every full moon she returns. If a mortal names him, you're not just a bird, you're a god. Don't. A voice echoes, not spoken but felt. Say it, and I'm gone. But her heart won't stay silent. I don't care, she says. Tears in her eyes. I love you. Up from the sky, the swan stiffens. White turns to gray, feathers to stone. In seconds, a statue, Apollo, frozen, silent forever. She collapses, screams into the night, begs the gods to take her instead, but no answer comes. So she leaves the bat and returns to the lake. And when she dies, old, quiet, at peace, she's found curled beside the stone, her face resting against Apollo's wing. The next morning, something strange happens. A single white swan appears on the lake. No other birds, no sound. And if you listen closely on a full moon night, some say, the swan glides toward her, silent as always. But tonight, a warmth runs up her arm, not from touch, but from memory. Flashes a golden god with a lyre, fire in his voice, chained by thunder. Apollo cursed, alone. She gasps, doesn't flinch, just watches sad. I love you. Beak, eyes, neck, all petrifying in silence. Leonthi screams, lunges forward, but it's too late. In moments, a statue. I was supposed to be strong, she chokes. Of the way the moon still looks down like it remembers. Years pass, her armor rusts, her name fades from battle songs, but she returns every night. touches the cold stone, sleeps with her head on its base. And when she dies, old, gray, smiling, she's found curled beside it, hand resting on Apollo's wing, as if waiting for a heartbeat that never comes. The next morning, a single white swan appears on the lake. No flock, no call, just it, watching, waiting. And on every full moon since, travelers swear, if you stand by that lake and speak a true word of love into the dark, the stone warms, and the swan, it nods. The night wind brushes the lake, rippling the silver surface. Leonthi steps forward, barefoot on cold stone, her heart pounding like a war drum in her chest. The swan watches her, still, silent, but aware. It flutters its wings once, not to flee, but as if in farewell. She reaches out. Her fingers sink into soft moonlit feathers. Love. And then clarity. It crashes over her like a wave. This isn't just a bird. It's never been just a bird. Every full moon, it came, never spoke, never left, never feared her, the warrior, the killer. Instead, it soothed Apollo, she whispers, the name like fire on her lips. You're the sun, the song, the truth the gods tried to bury. A deep silence. The lake stills. Even the wind holds its breath. The swan doesn't move, but its eyes golden, ancient. A voice echoes in her mind, not in words, but in feeling. I've spent my life being strong, she says, voice trembling. Its feathers harden, presses her forehead to the cold stone, guards the statue like it's the last flame in darkness, talks to it every night. And when she dies, on a full moon, head resting on Apollo's stone wing, she smiles. The next morning, a single white swan glides onto the lake. No others, no sound, just it, watching, waiting. And if you go there on a quiet night, some say, you'll feel warmth from the statue. And if you whisper, I remember.
You wake up, lying in a field under a sky so full of stars, it feels like you're floating in space. Wind whispers through the grass, leaves rustle like secrets being passed, and for a moment, you forget who you are. All you know is this: long ago in a quiet Greek village, nestled between wild forests and clear streams, a boy named Melanian grew up chasing sounds. Not just any sounds. The song of birds at dawn, the hush of wind through wheat, the rhythm of rain on stone. He'd wander alone for hours, eyes closed, letting the world hum through him. One day, deep in the woods, he found a hidden clearing. Flowers burst in every color. Sunlight dappled the ground like scattered gold. He sat on a mossy rock, breathed deep, and something happened. A melody rose inside him, not from his ears, from his bones. Soft, ancient, alive. It wasn't music he knew. It was music the earth remembered. From that day on, he returned every night. Saturday, listened, sang back. His voice, pure, clear, like water over stone, echoed through the trees and the forest. It's one by one, the 9 goddesses of art slipped down from Olympus. Unseen, they stood in the shadows, breathless. No mortal had ever sung like this, like he was born from music itself. So they gave him the divine voice, not just talent, power. His song could calm storms, heal grief, make flowers bloom in winter. Now, every evening, the villagers gather in the square. Melanian strums his lyre, voice rising like firelight. He sings of rivers, of stars, of hearts, breaking and mending. People cry, laugh, forget their pain. But Melanian wants more. He dreams of one song, the true song, the one that doesn't just touch hearts, but shakes the universe. So he sleeps beneath the stars, night after night, letting dreams pull him deeper. And then it comes. On a night when the Milky Way blazed like a river of light, he wakes up singing, a melody so vast, so perfect, It feels like creation itself is humming along. The trees sway, the wind stops, even the crickets fall silent. He plays it on his lyre, the stars pulse. Not metaphor, real, a flicker across the sky, like the cosmos just breathed. Scientists centuries later will call it the 7.83 Hertz resonance spike. Priests will say the gods wept, but Millennian, he just smiles because he knows that song wasn't his. He didn't make it, he remembered it. And as long as someone still listens, under stars, in silence, you're lying under a sky, dusted with stars, wind humming through the grass, when a melody slips into your ears, not from the world, but from within, soft, familiar, like a song you've known your whole life, but can't quite remember. That's how it always starts. Millennian knew it too, born in a quiet village, where streams sang and forests breathed. He grew up listening to the world, like it was whispering secrets, just for him. One day, deep in a sunlit clearing, he heard it, a song rising from the earth itself, not with his ears, with his soul. The muses came, 9 goddesses of art, drawn by his voice, so pure, so true, it made the stars pause. They gave him the divine voice, the power to heal, to move mountains with a note. Villagers gathered every night, weeping, laughing, forgetting their pain as he played his lyre and sang the language of nature. But he dreamed of the one song, the melody that didn't just touch hearts, but rewrote fate. And one night, under a sky on fire with stars, he found it. He woke singing, a tune so vast, so perfect, the air itself seemed to vibrate. The trees leaned in, the wind stopped, the crickets fell silent, even the moon held its breath. But the gods, they panicked. A mortal creating a song that could shake Olympus, that could unlock the universe. So they cursed him. Every night he'd dream the song, whole, perfect, pulsing in his veins. But when dawn came, gone, wiped clean, no, just a hollow ache, like a missing limb. And so he walked, for years, decades, a wanderer with haunted eyes. Villagers said he was broken, that the gift had burned him out. They'd see him sitting by rivers, head tilted like he was listening to ghosts. He'd freeze mid-step, hand twitching toward his lyre. There it is, then slump, defeated. But he never stopped. He crossed deserts, climbed mountains, sang to storms, to wolves, to ruins. Sometimes, in the silence after a thunderstorm, he'd catch a fragment, one note, and weep like a child. Then one night, under the same stars where it began, he dreamed the song again. But this time, he didn't fight to remember. He let go, and in that surrender, the song didn't just play, it consumed him. Not his voice, not his body, his soul. He didn't die. He unraveled, into wind, into silence, into the space between heartbeats. And now you hear it. Not loud, not always, but in the hush before dawn, in the stillness of a forest, in the quiet, after someone says, "I love you," a single, perfect note. That's him, Millennian, not forgotten, just everywhere. Because some songs aren't meant to be held, they're meant to be released. And the most powerful one of all, it doesn't need a voice, it just needs someone to listen. He walks, always walking, through storms, through silence. There goes the singer who lost his song. He's thin now, hair wild, clothes torn by thorns and time, but his eyes still searching. Every night the dream returns, the song perfect, whole. His plays in his blood, in his bones, like the universe is singing through him. And every dawn gone, wiped clean, he claws at his memory, hum fragments, pluck at his lyre like it can catch the echoes, but it's useless. The gods made sure of that. He meets a sage in the mountains, face carved by wind and years. The song isn't out there, the old man says. It's in you, always was. Millennian laughs, broken roar, Then why can't I hear it? The sage doesn't answer, just points to a leaf falling. Did it forget how to fall? He doesn't understand, not yet. One night in a storm, so fierce the sky splits with lightning, he collapses in a field, rain soaks him, thunder drowns the world, and in that chaos, he stops fighting. No more chasing, no more grasping, no more wanting, he just listens. And for the first time, he doesn't hear the song as music. He feels it, in the wind, in the rain, in the beat of his own heart. It's not lost, it never was. Dawn comes. He opens his eyes. He doesn't remember the song, but he's not sad, he's full. Like the music never left, like it just changed shape. From that day on, he stops searching. He sits by rivers and smiles. He watches children dance in the dust. He hears a bird call, and for a second, knows it's part of the melody every night. Perfect. Unreachable. But when he wakes, he doesn't reach for his lyre. He takes a breath and whispers, "I'm still here." Years pass. He grows old. One night, under the same stars where it began, he lies down in a meadow. And as his breath slows, a wind rises, soft, warm, humming a single clear note. Not from the trees, not from the grass. From him, his body fades, but the note remains. And if you ever stand in a quiet field at night, when the world is still and your heart is open, you might hear it. Not a song, Millennian, not gone, just singing in the silence. The storm rages as Millennian stumbles into an abandoned castle. Walls cracked, roof half gone, wind screaming through broken arches. Thunder shakes the stones. Rain soaks him to the bone. He collapses in a ruined hall, shivering, half mad with longing. Then he sees it, a leather-bound journal, hidden beneath fallen bricks. The pages brittle, ink faded. It belonged to an ancient bard, long dead, who once chased a divine melody said to sing the stars into motion. He searched for decades, composed symphonies, bargained with gods, and in the end, died alone, whispering a song no one could hear. Millennian reads it in silence. He wasn't alone. Others had burned for this, others had broken, others had vanished into the silence. And still, he keeps searching. Night after night, the dream returns. Muses whispering in the clouds, gods watching with cold eyes, the ultimate song dancing just beyond reach. Carried on the wind like laughter, he wakes gasping, heart shattered, but still, he walks. Then, one day, a library, ancient, towering shelves, dust in the air, the smell of old paper and time. He moves like a ghost among the books, pulling volumes on music, myth, divine chants, nothing, just echoes of songs that almost touch the truth. He's about to give up, kneeling in the silence, head in hands, when an old librarian appears, face wrinkled like ancient bark, eyes sharp as flint. "You've been coming here for weeks," the old man says, "looking for a song. You know of it?" The man doesn't answer, just smiles. "You're not searching for music. You're searching for meaning. And maybe the song isn't lost. Maybe it's not meant to be remembered. Maybe it's meant to be lived." The words hit like lightning, not in his ears, in his chest. He thinks of the stream's rhythm, the wind through wheat, a child's laugh at dawn, all part of the same melody. The ultimate song wasn't a single tune. It was everything. The world was the song, and he wasn't supposed to find it. He was supposed to become it. That night, he doesn't dream the melody, but he feels it in the quiet, in the breath between heartbeats, in the way the moonlight touches the ground. He doesn't reach for his lyre. He just sits and hums, soft, broken, true, not to remember, but to belong. Years later, they say if you walk through that old library at midnight, you'll hear it, a faint, not from the shelves, not from the wind, from the silence itself. And if you listen closely, you'll feel it. Not sadness, not loss, peace. Because Millennium didn't fail, he transcended. And now, he sings in every quiet moment the world forgets to hear. He stops walking, no more clawing at dreams that vanish with the dawn. Instead, Millennium sits under an old olive tree, by a quiet stream, on a hill beneath the stars. And for the first time, he listens, not for the song, but to everything. The distant chime of a goat's bell, the silence between breaths, and slowly, he hears it, not as a melody, but as a presence. The ultimate song wasn't a tune to be captured. It was the world itself, singing in every leaf, every drop of rain, every heartbeat. He picks up his lyre again, not to chase perfection, not to force memory, but to respond. His music changes, softer, deeper, not loud, but felt. Villagers say it doesn't just reach their ears, it reaches their bones. A mother hums his tune to a crying child. The child stops, eyes wide, as if remembering something ancient. A grieving man listens, and weeps, not from sorrow, but release. He doesn't speak of the dream anymore, but he still has it. Every night, the song plays, radiant, whole, unreachable. And when he wakes, he doesn't flinch, doesn't search. He smiles, because he knows now, the song was never lost. It was given, and he wasn't meant to keep, he was meant to let it go. Years pass. He grows old, hair white, hands trembling. But his music, it grows stronger, not louder, clearer. When he dies, no one sees it happen. He simply lies down in the meadow where he once dreamed, looks up at the stars, and takes one last breath, because on the next full moon, a shepherd hears it, a soft, wordless melody, drifting through the valley. No lyre, no voice, just sound, like wind through a hollow reed. And those who listen, they don't cry. They remember, not the song, but the feeling, of being part of something vast, something eternal, They call him the keeper of the forgotten song. But he wasn't a keeper, he was a bridge. And now, in quiet moments, when the world holds its breath, when a leaf falls just right, when someone hums a tune they don't know, Millennium sings not in memory, not in sorrow, in harmony, because the greatest song was never meant to be held. It was meant to be heard by anyone who knows how to listen. You're working at the ruins of the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, the air thick with dust and history, when there a faint glow from deep in the oldest cellar. Not moonlight, not a flashlight, something underground. Night falls, the site is quiet. Workers are packing up, except one young guy who spots a half-buried door, sealed under centuries of dirt. He pries it open, cold air rushes out, like the earth just exhaled. He steps in, flashlight trembling in hand. The tunnel's narrow, dark, ancient. Every footstep echoes like it's waking something up. Then, a chamber, walls covered in strange symbols, and in the center, a black obsidian statue of the moon goddess. Cold, fierce, like she's been waiting. Her chest holds a fist, sized black stone, smooth, mirror-like, but it doesn't reflect light. Instead, it swallows it. Even under full moonlight, it casts no glow, just pure, absolute shadow. He stares too long, aligned perfectly, like Orion's belt. But they're not in the sky, they're in him. The team rushes in, scientists, archaeologists. They scan the statue. X-ray reveals a hidden chamber inside. There, wrapped in ancient leather, so thin, it's almost transparent. Unrolled, it's covered in Greek script, but not just Greek, interspersed with star maps no one recognizes. They call it the Dark Moon Litany, and when someone reads it aloud for the first time, everything shifts. Within 24 hours, every woman on site finds their menstrual cycle synced to the new moon. Not approximate, exact, like their bodies just got a cosmic update. At the same moment, telescopes worldwide catch it. Betelgeuse, Orion's shoulder, dims by 0.3 magnitudes, just for a few hours. No solar flare, no explanation, but the team knows. The stars answered. They dig deeper into myth, into forgotten rites. The litany isn't just prayer, it's code, a ritual tied to Artemis, goddess of the hunt, the moon, wild things, and the black stone. Not meteorite, not volcanic, it's non-terrestrial. Lab tests show it absorbs all electromagnetic frequencies, light, radio, even gravity waves, then stores them like a battery, and it responds to the litany. They decide to test it. Full moon night, the team gathers. One woman steps forward, reads the litany in ancient Greek, voice steady, echoing through the ruins. Again, cycles sync. Global observatories report another flicker in Orion. The stone pulses, just once, like a heartbeat. This isn't superstition, it's resonance. The statue isn't art, it's a device, a lunar node, a consciousness tuner, a bridge between female biology, celestial rhythms, and something far older, something that watches. And now, sitting around the statue under the silver moon, they realize the dark moon stone isn't just absorbing light, it's recording time, storing rituals, memories, cycles, waiting for the right voice, the right phase, the right moment to hunt again. Because Artemis doesn't just guard the wild, she is the hunt. And after 2,500 years of silence, the moment the first researcher begins reciting the ancient text, the air changes, thick, charged, like the room itself is holding its breath. Everyone's eyes lock onto the obsidian goddess, her stone face cold, watching. Each syllable of the litany rolls out like a spell from another age, pulling them in deeper, like they're not just hearing it, they're remembering it. And when the last word fades, it hits a wave, silent, invisible, but real. Every woman in the room feels it, deep in their bones. Within 24 hours, their cycles sync exactly to the new moon. Not close, not approximate, perfect alignment. Scientists check the data twice, 3 times. It's not placebo, not coincidence. And then, the stars respond. Telescopes across the globe pick it up. Betelgeuse, the red giant in Orion's shoulder, dims by 0.3 magnitudes. Brief, precise. No known astrophysical cause, but the team knows. It's not a glitch. They dive into ancient texts, myths, forgotten rituals. They interview scholars, trace temple inscriptions, follow the whispers of priestesses long gone, and slowly, the truth emerges. This litany isn't just prayer, it's a frequency, a key, a hunting call, tied to Artemis, not just as goddess of the moon and wild things, but as a cosmic force tied to female biology, lunar rhythms, and celestial balance. The black stone, it's not just absorbing light, it's storing time, capturing energy from the moon, from blood, from stars. And the ritual, it's not symbolic, it's activation. So they try it again. Full moon night, the ruins glow silver, the team gathers. A woman steps forward, voice strong, clear, and reads the litany. Again, cycles sync. Again, Betelgeuse flickers. This isn't myth, a living link between human bodies and the cosmos, between ancient ritual and quantum reality. The world takes notice. Scientists debate, feminists celebrate, religious leaders whisper of prophecy, because this isn't just archaeology, it's a reawakening. And now, as they stand beneath the moon, staring at that dark stone, so black it seems to eat the light, they realize Artemis wasn't just worshipped, she was engineered, a consciousness built into stone, star, and cycle. And the dark moonstone, it's not a relic, it's a beacon, still hunting. And after 2,500 years, she's not just back, she's calling. They dig through forgotten libraries, dusty monasteries, crumbling scrolls, until they find it, a battered manuscript, handwritten in faded ink, detailing the moon hunt ritual in shocking clarity. Every sacred full moon, priestesses of Artemis would gather in the temple, not just to pray, not just to sacrifice, but to dance, to chant, to move in precise spiral patterns around a blazing fire, their voices rising in harmonic frequencies that matched the moon's pull. They believed the ritual didn't just honor the goddess, it fed her, and in return, she kept the wilds in balance, the crops fertile, the cycles aligned. Then, the real shark. Cross-referencing ancient logs with modern astronomy, the team spots a pattern. Every recorded ritual night, Betelgeuse flickered, slight, brief, but consistent. For centuries, it was dismissed as observational error. Now, it's evidence. Under the glow of the full moon, they uncover more. Frescoes hidden beneath rubble, priestesses in flowing silver robes, bows raised to the sky, dancing around a central flame. The moon above them, oversized, radiant, almost pulsing. Stars in the background match the exact configuration of Orion on ritual nights. This wasn't art, it was documentation. And the deeper they go, the clearer it becomes. The Dark Moon Litany isn't just words, it's a frequency weapon, a cosmic trigger. It syncs female biology to lunar phases. It shifts stellar output across light years. It turns human bodies into living antennas. This wasn't superstition, it was ancient science. So they decide to run the full ritual, midnight, full moon. The ruins silent, but for the wind. A young archaeologist steps forward, unrolls the fragile parchment, and begins to chant. His voice, low at first, rises, echoing off the broken columns. The moment the first syllable hits the right pitch, the air changes. Then the women feel it, a deep internal shift, like their blood just remembered something. Within hours, their cycles lock again to the new moon, and above, Betelgeuse dims, 0.3 magnitudes. On the dot, telescopes confirm it. Social media explodes. Scientists scramble. Spiritual communities weep, because now it's undeniable. The ritual works, not as myth, not as metaphor, as physics, a bridge between female biology, lunar gravity, and quantum resonance. Across space, time, Artemis wasn't just a goddess, she was a system. And now, with the chant spoken, the fire lit, the stars aligned, she's online. The moon glows brighter, the wind stills, the stone doesn't pulse, it breathes. And somewhere, deep in the obsidian heart of the statue, a single thought echoes. The hunt begins. The moment the litany leaves his lips, something shifts, deep, silent, inescapable. The women on site freeze, not from fear, from recognition. A surge runs through them, like their bodies just snapped into alignment. Heartbeats sink, breathing falls into rhythm, and within 24 hours, every single one, their cycles lock perfectly to the new moon. Not close, not approximate, exactly. It's not psychological, it's not coincidence, it's biological entrainment, on a level science can't explain. And above, the stars answer. Telescopes from Chile to Japan catch it. Betelgeuse, the red giant in Orion's belt, dims by 0.3 magnitudes. Again, at the exact moment the chant ends. No solar flare, no dust cloud, no known astrophysical cause, just a flicker, a response. Scientists go silent, then frantic. Data pours in. The correlation is too precise. This isn't myth, this is resonance. News explodes. Headlines scream. Moon goddess. Ritual changes women, stars, pilgrims, scientists, mystics. They flood into Ephesus. Some come to worship, some to study. All feel it, the pull. Because this isn't just about a statue or a chant. It's about connection. The dark moonstone doesn't just absorb light, it stores intention. The litany isn't just prayer, it's its seed frequency key that syncs human biology to lunar gravity and stellar pulses. The ancient priestesses weren't just performing rituals, they were maintaining balance, a cosmic feedback loop. Women's cycles, Fey moon energy, Fey star output, Fey earth's rhythm, Fey back to women. And now, after 2,500 years of silence, the loop is closing again. More secrets surface. The obsidian isn't natural, it's engineered, with trace elements not found on Earth. The symbols on the walls, not just decoration, they're harmonic maps, tuned to 7.83 Hz, Earth's base frequency. Every element of the temple was designed to amplify the ritual. This wasn't religion, it was technology. And Artemis, she wasn't just a myth. A living system of consciousness, biology, and celestial mechanics, activated by voice, blood, and moonlight. As the next full moon rises over Ephesus, the ruins hum, not with sound, with presence. The stone glows darker than ever, like they don't need the scroll this time. They know the words, and when they begin to chant, soft at first, then rising, the earth holds its breath, Betelgeuse flickers, the wind stills, the stars shift, and somewhere, deep in the stone, I see you. This isn't the end. The hunt was never about prey, it was about remembering. And now, the moon is no longer distant. She's awake, and she's calling her daughters home. You're down in the great bath of Mohenjo-Daro, sonar gear humming in your hands, the air thick with dust and history, the sun's low painting the ancient bricks in gold, when, there it is, a signal, steady, deep 7.83 hertz, Schumann resonance, the earth's heartbeat, and it's coming from below your breath catches. This isn't random, this isn't geology, this frequency, 7.83 hertz, isn't just background noise. It's the pulse of the planet itself, and right now, it's singing from beneath a 4,500-year-old Indus Valley ruin. You freeze, not fear, not just curiosity, it's something deeper, recognition, like the earth just whispered your name. The signal leads to a row of hollow bricks, buried deep under the bath floor. At first glance, they look like the rest, weathered, sun-baked, but when you scan them, different density, different composition. You pull one out carefully. Vedic bronze, a metal mentioned in ancient Sanskrit texts, said to resonate with cosmic energy, thought to be myth. Now sitting in your hands, night falls, the sight goes quiet. You and your team work by lantern light, extracting each brick, like you're diffusing a time bomb inside. Not rubble, precision, tiny chambers, micro channels, geometric patterns, carved at the atomic level. This isn't masonry, it's engineering, ancient, but impossibly advanced. Back in the tent, that 7.83 hertz hum plays on loop. It's in your bones, in your dreams. You can't sleep. It's not just sound, it's syncing with your brain waves. Theta state, deep meditation. You start to wonder, was this bath not for washing, but for tuning? A device to align human consciousness with the Earth's frequency. Dawn hits, you suit up. Sunlight fractures into ripples above you, like time itself is bending. You reach the brick line, hand hovering. Then, vibration, a pulse, gentle, rhythmic, like the bricks are breathing. You press your palm to one, and for a split second, you see it. A vision, not of the path. A city, floating light-based architecture. People moving without walking, thought to thought. A civilization after hours. And then, a voice, not in your ears, but in your mind. We are the echo, you are the source. You surface gasping, heart racing. Team rushes over you. It's a receiver. And that 7.83 hertz tone, it's not coming from the earth. It's being amplified by it. These bricks, this bath, was a neural interface, a bridge between human minds and planetary resonance. And that frequency, and now that you've heard it, it's listening back. Suddenly, tiny bubbles begin rising from the hollow bricks. Slow, deliberate, like they're alive. They spiral upward in perfect patterns, forming shapes that shouldn't be possible. Then, clear as sunlight through water, they arrange into Sanskrit script, ancient, glowing, a fragment from the Upanishads. You are that. This self is the universe. The team records it in stunned silence. Then, one of them, driven by instinct, recites the verse aloud, and the ruins respond. The broken walls tremble, not from sound, from resonance. Like every stone is a tuning fork struck. After 4,500 years of silence, the air hums, a warmth spreads, not from the sun, but from within the earth. It feels sacred, electric, like the entire site just took a breath. Then bigger shock, and there it is. The layout of Mohenjo-Daro perfectly aligns with the Milky Way above. Same angles, same proportions, not a match, a mirror, as if the city was built not just on Earth, but with the stars. Everyone's mind breaks a little. This isn't archaeology, this is cosmic choreography. Back in the lab, they replay the audio. 7.83 hertz, Earth-space frequency, still pulsing, but then a voice, soft, childlike, modern Hindi. Mat karo shor, Papa so raha hai. Don't make noise, Dad's sleeping. They freeze. Check the timestamp. It says 3 a.m., the 15th of March, 1922. The exact moment the city was first uncovered. A child's voice from a century ago, speaking modern Hindi in a place that hasn't had a living soul for thousands of years. Silence, then whispers. Is the site recording and replaying moments across centuries, or is something else, something beyond time, sending messages through the resonance? The deeper they dig, the weirder it gets. Tests on the Vedic bronze reveal impossible metallurgy, trace elements not found on Earth, arranged in lattice patterns that look biological. It's not just resonant, it's adaptive, like the metal learns. Linguists confirm the Upanishadic text isn't just poetic, it's a frequency map. Each syllable matches a harmonic of 7.83 hertz. The verse isn't just wisdom, it's a key. And now, the team realizes, the Great Bath wasn't for ritual cleansing, it was a neural amplifier, a device to sync human consciousness with Earth's pulse, and beyond that child's voice. It wasn't a glitch, it was a response, because when they spoke the ancient words, they didn't just awaken the past, they connected to it. And somewhere, across time, across resonance, a little boy in 1922 heard them too. Now, as night falls again over the ruins, the team stands at the edge of the Great Bath, hearts in sync with the hum. They don't know what's real anymore, but they feel it, a thread, thin, invisible, linking them to the stars, to the earth, to a child's whisper from a century ago, and to something greater, watching, waiting, in the space between breaths, in the silence beneath time. Mohenjo-Daro isn't dead, it's dreaming, and now it knows they're here. They dig into the archives, old expedition logs, faded photos, diaries, and there it is. John Marshall, the lead archaeologist in 1922, did camp at the site with his family. His daughter, Lily, just 6 years old, couldn't sleep that night. She snuck out of the tent, barefoot on the ancient stones, whispering to herself, Mat Koroshor, Papaso Rahahai, a child's whisper, forgotten, lost. Until now, the team stares at the transcript, hearts pounding. That voice in the recording, it was real, not a glitch, not a hoax. It was her words, carried not through air, but through time, somehow preserved in the resin. And then it hits them. The Great Bath didn't just record sound, it stored it in the Vedic bronze, in the 7.83 hertz pulse, in the very fabric of the site, like a living hard drive built from stone and frequency. Physicists go wild. Is this quantum memory a naturally occurring space-time echo? Psychologists call it resonant consciousness imprinting, but no theory fully explains it, because this isn't just data, it's a moment, frozen waiting. And they woke it up, back at the site, under a moon-drenched sky. The team sits in silence by the Great Bath, the 7.83 hertz hum thrums beneath their feet, syncing with their breath, their heartbeat. Some close their eyes. One begins to cry, not from fear, from recognition. This isn't just a ruin, it's a witness. It saw Lily, it heard her, and now, a century. Meanwhile, in the lab, the analysis confirms the impossible. Vedic bronze isn't just ancient, it's engineered. X-rays reveal a crystalline lattice, unlike any known alloy. Layers of copper and tin interlaced with trace elements not found on the periodic table. Under 7.83 Hz stimulation, the metal vibrates in harmony with human brainwaves, amplifying theta and alpha states. Deep meditation, lucid dreaming, altered consciousness. This wasn't just a ritual bath, it was a portal, a bridge between mind and earth, past and future, life and memory. And that child's voice, it wasn't an accident, it was a message, a reminder that some things, love, presence, a whisper in the dark, don't fade, they resonate, they return. And in the stillness of that ancient pool, under a sky full of stars, the team realizes they're not just studying the past, they're in conversation with it. And Mohenjo-Daro, it's not silent, it's singing. Remember, heartbeat, remember child's voice. At a time, historians and linguists dive into the Sanskrit fragments, cross-referencing ancient manuscripts, decoding archaic grammar. Slowly, the full passage emerges, a verse from the Upanishads, preserved not in text, but in resonance. From silence, sound, from sound, light, from light, life. You are not born, you are remembered. It's not just philosophy, it's a blueprint. Meanwhile, they recreate the 7.83 Hz Schumann frequency, Earth's heartbeat, and expose the Vedic bronze to it. At first, nothing. Then, a hum. The metal begins to vibrate, not from the speaker, but from within, like it's waking up. Under high-speed cameras, the crystal lattice pulses in sync with the frequency, amplifying the signal, transmuting it into a subtle light emission, barely visible. But there, they test it in water, in air, in darkness, in daylight. Every time, same result. The bronze doesn't just resonate, it conducts, stores, and transmits energy, like a natural quantum node. Shape doesn't matter, environment doesn't matter. This metal is tuned to the planet. Then they realize, this wasn't just for rituals, it was infrastructure. The hollow bricks in the Great Bath, not decorative, not structural. They were antennas, tuned to 7.83 Hz, designed to sync human consciousness with Earth's frequency. And the Upanishadic text, it wasn't meant to be read, it was meant to be sung, because when spoken at the right pitch, the syllables match the harmonic resonance of the bronze, activating it, turning the entire bath into a living circuit, a neural amplifier, a time-capable memory field. That child's voice from 1922, it wasn't trapped by accident, it was recorded by design. The Indus Valley people weren't just advanced, they were ahead. They understood consciousness as energy, time as non-linear, and memory as something that could be stored in stone and frequency. They built a city that listens. And now, after 4,500 years, it's answering. As the full picture comes together, the team sits in stunned silence. This wasn't just a civilization, it was a consciousness network. Bronze, sound, stars, water, all woven into a system that connected mind to earth, past to future. The Great Bath wasn't a pool, it was a brain. And Mohenjo-Daro, it's not a dead city, it's in deep sleep, waiting for the right frequency, the right voice, the right moment. Now, under the moon, the ruins glow faintly, not with light, but with presence. The 7.83 Hz hum never stops. It's in the ground, in their bones, in the air. They know they've only scratched the surface. So much remains hidden, so much may never be understood. But one thing is certain, time isn't a line, it's a loop. And somewhere, in the silence between breaths, a little girl whispers, "Don't make noise, Dad's sleeping." And the earth listens.
You wake up standing right in front of the north wall of King Tut's tomb, and your scanner suddenly starts screeching like an alarm. What would you even do? Hot desert wind blows sand across your face. Everything's dead quiet except for a distant camel's groan and the soft breathing of your team. Your eyes lock onto that ancient stone wall like you can see through centuries of dust, and finally uncover what's been hidden for ages. The scanner's cursor flickers a few times, then stops on a tiny, almost invisible crack. Your heart starts racing, so loud you can hear it in your ears. Inside the crack, there's a faint golden glow, like a sliver of gold tongue peeking out from the dark. You gasp. This crack was clearly made by someone, and it's so perfectly hidden that no one's noticed it in hundreds of years. You reach out and gently touch it. A subtle vibration runs through your fingertips. The crack actually responds, slowly widening just a bit. Behind it, a narrow passage opens up, filled with this ancient, mysterious energy. You take a deep breath, summon your courage, and step inside. The passage is dark and damp, walls covered in thick moss, air heavy with earth and mildew. But your eyes adjust fast, and up ahead, you see 7 bronze doors, each shimmering with a different metallic hue, like a rainbow frozen in metal. They look both ancient and brand new, radiating some kind of indescribable power. You approach the first door, covered in intricate alchemical symbols and strange markings. Symbols that look way too similar to the modern periodic table. You stare, realizing this might be the missing link between ancient wisdom and modern science. You solve the first seal. As the final rune clicks into place, the door creaks open. A rush of fresh air hits you, and the whole chamber buzzes with energy. But right then, Cairo's electromagnetic field goes haywire with a massive pulse. setting off alarms in labs worldwide. You know this is just the beginning. The real secrets are still buried deep. Each door brings a new puzzle, a newt. By the sixth, you find it, a fragment of the emerald tablet, written in starlight ink. This ancient text reveals the true origins of Hermetic wisdom, sparking wild debates about how much ancient Egypt really knew. As you approach the seventh door, drone footage catches a figure deep in the chamber, Simone wearing a jackal mask. Their eyes glow with the light of the Orion Nebula. You're equal parts terrified and electrified. This isn't just history anymore. This is something bigger. And your adventure, it's only just getting started. The team stands frozen in front of those 7 doors, hearts racing, nerves on edge. The first door's covered in alchemical symbols that match the periodic table exactly. They crack the seal, door groans open, and boom, Cairo's M field spikes again, like the city's suddenly plugged into some ancient power grid. Scientists around the world drop everything and start watching. As they push deeper, each bronze door feels like a puzzle waiting to be solved. The second one's carved with intricate star constellations, like a map of the cosmos as the ancient Egyptians saw it. The third shows the Nile's winding path and the lush lands along its banks, almost like a sacred geography lesson. Every time they break a seal, a subtle energy ripple passes through the air, like something ancient is slowly waking up. By the fourth door, it's covered in rows of hieroglyphs, telling the myth of the sun god Ra. But as the team decodes the text, they uncover a hidden clue about ancient alchemy, something way beyond legend. The fifth door, pure gold, studded with glowing gems, shimmering under their lights. Its surface is etched with mysterious symbols that look like an old ritual or a forgotten spell. Then, behind the sixth door, they finally find it, a fragment of the legendary emerald tablet, written in starlight ink. It glows with a soft blue light in the dark. The text reveals the true roots of Hermetic wisdom, blowing their minds. This isn't just philosophy, it's packed with scientific knowledge that sparks global debates about how advanced the ancients really were. Just as they're about to open the seventh door, drone footage catches a figure deep inside the chamber, Simone in a jackal mask, eyes reflecting the light of the Orion Nebula. He's just standing there, like he's been waiting 1,000 years. The team's hearts race. This isn't just about uncovering history anymore. It's about facing unknown forces and secrets older than time. The Guardian's appearance, a clear sign that the real challenge is just beginning. As the sixth door creaks open, a faint, sweet scent fills the air, like whispers from the past. The team holds their breath, flashlights cutting through the darkness, eyes locked on what's slowly emerging. In the center of the chamber, resting on an ancient stone altar, lies the emerald tablet fragment, glowing with a soft otherworldly light. They carefully unfold the parchment, every word radiating deep, almost cosmic wisdom. The text reveals the true origins of Hermetic teachings, insights about the universe, nature, and human existence that align perfectly with modern physics. This isn't just an artifact. It's a knowledge bomb from the past, one that could launch humanity into a whole new era of understanding. News spreads fast. Scientists, historians, and curious minds from around the world rush to Cairo. Theories explode online. Was this proof of lost ancient tech? A message from a forgotten civilization? No one knows for sure. But one thing's clear. This tablet has cracked open a door to a world still sealed. But they're getting closer. With every mystery solved, every seal broken, they're inching toward the truth. Out here in the desert, buried for millennia, the biggest secrets are finally ready to be revealed. And honestly, this whole thing feels like it's only just begun.
You're standing at the base of El Castillo, the Kukulkan pyramid, and suddenly you see it, a serpent made of light and shadow slithering down the steps. What would you even do? It's the spring equinox of 2025. Golden rays slice through the clouds, hitting the ancient stone just right. A diverse team has gathered here. Archaeologists, physicists, historians, and a few seasoned explorers, all chasing the same mystery. What secrets does this pyramid really hold? As the sun dips lower, shadows stretch across the northern face of the pyramid, forming sharp angular segments that slowly connect into a massive serpent of light. It winds its way down the staircase, like it's alive, finally pointing to a specific corner of the structure. The air is thick with everyone's frozen, breath held, watching in awe. And then, just as the last beam vanishes, the light serpent stops, dead, like it's waiting for something. That's when one of the archaeologists notices it. At the serpent's endpoint, a seemingly ordinary stone slab is slightly sunken, almost like a hidden switch. He hesitates for half a second, then presses it. A soft rumble echoes beneath their feet. The ground splits open at the pyramid's base, revealing a dark, narrow passage that wasn't there before. They exchange glances, no words needed. This is why they came. Flashlights on, hearts pounding. They step into the unknown. The tunnel is tight, damp, and silent, except for their footsteps. After what feels like forever, it opens into a vast underground chamber. In the center sits a circular altar, its surface coated in liquid mercury, shimmering with an eerie, otherworldly glow. And there, right in the middle, a crystal skull, transparent, glowing a soft pulsing blue, like it's breathing. The physicists immediately go quiet. This isn't just a relic, it might be a quantum data storage device. They carefully lift it and hook it up to a portable scanner, fingers flying over the interface. After a tense few minutes, the data loads on the screen, a sequence of complex symbols and numbers, the 0-year coordinates. Mind-blown moment. The Maya long count calendar didn't predict the end of the world. It predicted the start of interstellar travel. This was never an apocalypse. It was a launch code. And then, snap. Every watch on every team member suddenly resets to midnight. Time feels off. Above them, the night sky shifts. The Pleiades star cluster, already visible, now burns brighter, with 7 new stars blazing into existence. No explanation, no warning, just light. It hits them all at once. This isn't just a discovery, it's an invitation. Earlier that night, as shadows stretched across the pyramid, like the fingers of an ancient guardian, the air buzzed with anticipation. The sky was crystal clear, stars scattered like diamonds on black velvet. As the sun vanished below the horizon, 9 distinct shadow segments began to shift, merging into that legendary light serpent, guiding them, almost herding them forward. They followed, through jungle paths, over mossy stone steps, until they reached the pyramid's base. There, where no door had been, the light serpent illuminated a hidden entrance. Heartbeats racing, they stepped inside. The cave was dark and damp, but the serpent's glow stayed with them, cutting through the maze like a living compass. Now, standing in that underground chamber with the skull in hand, and stars rewriting themselves above, they realize one thing: humanity just got its first message from the cosmos, and they're the ones who answered. The journey isn't over, it's just taken off. Soon, the tunnel opens up into a massive circular chamber, and what they see right in the center, a lake of liquid mercury, shimmering with an unearthly glow, and rising from the middle of it, a stone altar holding a perfectly clear crystal skull. It pulses with a soft inner light, like it's alive, like it's watching them. The team gathers around, barely breathing. This isn't just some ancient artifact. It's a masterpiece, a quantum storage device packed with lost knowledge. After scanning and decoding, they hit the jackpot. A hidden message buried in the skull's structure, the 0-year coordinates, and it changes everything. The end of the Maya long count calendar wasn't doom. It was a countdown, a launch code for interstellar travel, left behind by a civilization that knew humanity would one day reach for the stars. Then, snap, every watch on every person jumps to midnight. No warning, no glitch, just reset. Above them, the night sky shifts. 7 new stars blaze into existence within the Pleiades cluster, forming a perfect, unmistakable pattern. It's not random, it's a signal, and suddenly, they all feel it. A deep, unshakable pull, like their destinies have been tied to this moment all along. As the mixed team follows the path of the light serpent, deep beneath El Castillo, their heartbeats sync with the ancient stones around them. The tunnel grows darker, the air heavier, their flashlight beams dancing ahead like fireflies in the void. Then, whoosh, a brilliant glow floods the passage. They freeze. Ahead lies a vast chamber, a mirror-like pool of mercury stretching across the floor, reflecting light like scattered stars. In the center, the altar, and on it, the crystal skull, pure glowing, its eyes seeming to lock onto each of them, one by one. It radiates calm, power, and something else. Recognition, like it's been waiting. They step forward slowly, voices hushed, afraid to break the silence. The scientists get to work, scanning, testing, and soon they confirm it. This skull is no mere relic. It's a quantum archive, engineered with impossible precision. After hours of decoding, the data unlocks, revealing the same coordinates, the 0-year code. This was never about the end of the world. It was about a beginning. The Maya weren't predicting doom. They were leaving a roadmap for humanity's cosmic departure. Just as the weight of the discovery sinks in, their watches all snap to 12 o'clock midnight, and outside, the sky transforms. 7 new stars ignite in the Pleiades, shining brighter than anything seen before. It's not a coincidence, it's a response. They look up, stunned, hearts racing. This isn't just archaeology, this is history and prophecy unfolding in real time. They weren't just meant to find this, they were called. Now, standing before the altar, staring into the glowing depths of the skull, a profound silence falls over the chamber. The air hums with energy. As the tech expert powers up the quantum reader, the skull reacts, light rippling through its core, data unfolding like a long-lost film, reels spinning back to life. Ancient wisdom, cosmic maps, forgotten science, all waking up, and with it, a single, undeniable truth. The journey doesn't end here. It begins.